some useful transaction codes for the basis here. After the client copies, so we will cover the remaining transaction codes here, right, which will be helpful here for tracing, performance, monitoring perspective. So these are the very helpful here, right? So here the first one, let's discuss about the some tracing related. So the performance related transaction codes here. SAP, the performance related transaction codes, performance related. So which means like ST01. This is called the system tracing, system trace. So in the transaction code, suppose if we want, some users are facing some issues, we want to track that one. So you want to track that one. You can go to the ST01. When you check out the ST22, SM21, you could not find any more issues and everything. Then when you go to the ST01, when you switch on the trace, normally you will switch on the trace here, right? You switch it on the trace here. So what issues they are facing? Some authorization issue, kernel issue, maybe DB related issues, RFC calls, HTTP calls, whatever he is facing. Just select all these things, then switch on the trace here, right? Just switch on the trace. Then we can ask user to reproduce the issue. Means whatever the issue is facing, you can ask him to retry again. He will face the issue again, right? So normally I will open the one transaction code here, then I will try to reproduce it here, right? So I will go to the one more screen there. So I will do the all kind of work and everything. I will perform it here. So that suppose I will go to suppose like VGL082. So I got the error, right? This transaction code is not exist. Suppose like same as like here. So suppose like RSA1 transaction code, right? This is the BW workbench related. So workbench related transaction code. So I got this one. Now, so I will go and turn off the trace here, right? Turn off the trace here. Then I will go to the analysis phase here. Analysis. I will do the analysis of all the traces and everything here. All the traces I will do the analysis here. So, but currently, so I don't have any errors. That's why no records are fetched here. So records are not fetched here. Let me remove this one. So user ID also, now user ID is required. Why? Because we have fetched currently these tables, right? So and also let me change the timelines here. Then set it out here whether you will get anything here, right? Whether you will get anything. So no corresponding logs. So if any errors, so if anything you require system trace, then you have to enable the trace here. In the trace, it will be display like, so which statement, so what exactly calling, how much duration. So all the information will be recorded in the trace file. All the information will be recorded in the trace file. So the trace, we have to just select all, then click on the trace on button, then trace switch is on here. Then later, after some time, when you see the trace is, after some time, the trace is collected here. The trace is collected, then so we will keep it like this. Then after some time, when you come to the screen, the trace is on, we can switch off it. We can do the analysis of your SAP system and everything, like how SAP system is behaving when you're accessing the one transaction code, when it is giving the errors, then how this is behaving. All kind of information is located in the system trace. We can take it. So normally we will find out everything from the ST22 transaction code or the dumps, yesterday's dumps and today's dumps. We will get it out from the ST22, right? In the dumps, we may face some clues, what exactly happened, why. So why this dump is occurred, at what time occurred, which user, all this information you can see, all the information we can see it here, right? So in our team, so most of the members are performing the client copies. So without like other client to this client and everything, then you will get this type of issues here when creating the users. Why? Because there is the address related issues. You will face this type of issues here, right? So that is the one. So we have to fix it. And today also we received the one runtime error. So why we have received uncaught exception? Same, I think. The DDIC user in the 0001 person trying to create the one user, they are getting the error. Definitely they will get the error. Why? Because so they have to first of all copy the address from main client to 000 or 001 client to some other clients, they have to copy the things here. So that is the reason, without copying that one, so without performing the client copy, if you start creating the users, then you may face this type of issues, right? Normally we can track it, all kind of issues and errors we can track it. If you need more clues, more logs, you need more logs, then you can go to the ST22 or SM20 for the display system logs. You will get the more logs here. What is the basis transaction is cancelled today, right? Basis transaction is cancelled. You just double click it, you will get the more details why it is cancelled. So like that, start the investigating. Like that, you have to start your investigating in the systems, right? This is the investigation, you have to start it here. Yes, someone asking something. Yes, tell me, Ram. Are you hear me? Raghuram, you raised the hand. Okay. Right. So this way we can find out the some information in the system logs, SM21, ST22 system logs, we can find out from here. Right. So even though you are unable to track it, the user related issue, you are unable to track it, then you can go to ST01 for the system trace. You can switch off it. You have already traced on. Then you can off it. Then you can save it. Or if you want to save for future purpose also, you can save it here, the trace. So then, so you can save it for the future purpose also. You want to analyze it. Then you have traced it. You have saved the trace also, but no records set currently for that criteria, right? You can switch on it. So then you can analyze the trace here. What is happening with this one? So much we won't get it out, but instead of that, we have the one more transaction code that is called the ST05. That is the performance trace. Performance trace. So in this performance trap, you may face the you will get the lot of things here in the performance trace, right? That time we will discuss about the ST05. So now let's start discussing about the ST02 transaction code here, right? These are the performance related transaction codes here. ST01, then ST02 here. ST02 is for the tune summary. Tune summary. Here we can see the buffers related information, buffers swaps, SAP memory areas, SAP memory areas. So these three things we can see it from the ST02 areas here, ST02. So when you go to the ST02 transaction code here, when you go to the ST02 transaction code, you see here, so you see the buffers here, right? You see the tune summary, buffers. So what does it mean by buffers here, right? So whenever a user log into the SAP systems, so whenever user log into the SAP systems here, suppose, so this is the presentation layer, this is the SAP layer, this is the database layer, right? Whenever user log into the SAP system, dialog will take your user request and will process your user request here. So in the SAP level, we have some buffers are available. Buffers are like temporary storage areas. We have the program buffer, CA buffer, calendar buffer, export buffer, import buffer. Like that, we have the buffers are there here. Like that, we have the buffers are there here. Right? Like that, we have the buffers are there here. So here, whenever user give any transaction, suppose VL08 or something like that, immediately it will go in the SAP level, it will check in the buffers where this transaction data available here. So here it will check it here. So if we found any one of that buffer, then the response will give back to the users here, right? This is the concept of, so here in this way user will get the immediate response here. Suppose if the data is not exist in the buffer, then what that will do, it will go to the database level, then it will set the data into the database level, it will give the response back to the user, then one copy will store the data into the buffer level and one copy will share it to the user. So this way whenever accessing the next time same transaction code, your performance will be improved. Your performance will be improved here. Suppose example, if you see here, I am example I will show you here. So okay, just access the one transaction code here. Suppose like SMLG. So if you open SMLG, it's taken the some time. It's taken the some time here. Response time is the 1422 milliseconds, right? It will taken the some time here. So why? Because this transaction code is, suppose you are accessing now, if the data is there, immediately you will get the response from the SAP system. Immediately you will get the response time. See here, response time is decreasing here, which means the fraction of seconds you are getting the response here, right? Which means you are within the fraction of seconds now 10, 14, 13, now 10. Which means when you are keep on accessing the transactional codes, so that the data is available in the buffers, right? The buffers. So it will take the request from the buffer, then it will give the response to the users here. Suppose if that is not in the buffer, suppose like we have the one transaction code is called the sale transaction code. If we click it, see here how much time it is taking here. See here, it is buffering. So now we got it. Finally, we got it here. How much time? It's like 5313 milliseconds taken the response, right? So now what I will do here, now again, I will use the sale transaction code here. So how much time it's taken? Now go ahead and calculate it here. It's like half percentage response time is decreased here. So why? Because initial request, it will go to the buffers here. It will check in the buffer. So there is no data, then it will go to the database level. Here it will search in the data in the database level. It will give the response back to the user. It will give the response back to the users here. It will give the response back to the users here, right? So that is the buffers here. Here, like that, we have the number of buffers are there in the SAP systems here. Number of buffers are there in the SAP systems, right? So like that, not only one buffer, it will store the all the data here. So here you can see, so name tab buffer, so table definitions related buffer. So these are the buffers actually. So in the buffers, you can see the what is the allocated KB, what is the free directory percentage. All these things are available here. So field, short, initial records related information, programs, all the programs, CUA related buffers, right? So central user administration related buffer. I'm not sure what is meant by CA, but screen buffer, calendar buffers, screens, all the screens will store it here, and the calendar buffers, OTR buffers, table buffer. So all the buffers are there in the SAP level. So here we can see the improvements here. What is the current size of the each and every buffer? What is the free percentage there here in the each buffer? So here we can see all these things here. So normally, as per the SAP recommends, so all the buffer seat ratio should be 95 plus. 90, at least 95 plus should be required here, buffer utilization. So why? Because with the 95 plus means hit ratio means which how many requests out of 100, how many requests are hitting the buffers? How many requests are hitting the buffer? So here, as per I said, 95 plus requests should hit the buffers here. Remaining 5 should go to the database level, pull the data, and it will keep it here. But 95 plus requests should hit the buffer. Then only the buffer utilization is, then only the system performance is normal here. System performance is normal. But only the screen buffer has the 95%, but this is also fine. Table buffer remaining all are so very small. It's a very small here. So it's a very small, which means so some performance issues we have in the systems. Some performance issues are we are using only standard one, not the standard only limited transaction codes we are using. Not much that much of level system we are not using here replacing. So that is the reason you can see only this related transaction, the buffers related hit ratio we can see it here. Here you can see the swaps column. So swaps column means when we will receive the swap column here. So when the buffers are running out of the free space, suppose each buffer, suppose each suppose each buffer there is a one limited size. Each buffer there is a limited size here. So this is the size is allocated. If the size is gone, the size is already occupied, then so buffers will do the overflow. Overflow action will be performed here. Overflow action. Overflow means so it will overflow. Suppose you have the one bucket. The bucket has the bucket is like buffer. The bucket has quantity of the 20 liters, right? Up to 20 liters you can pour the water, right? So once the 20 liter limit is crossed, what happens? The overflow happens, right? Overflow happens. Whatever the new data is coming, the data will be overflow. Because of that, there is no space at bucket level. There is no space at buffer level. So buffer is called the one bucket. Here, program bucket, CI buffer, screens, calendar, these all are the buckets. Each bucket has the some space, some quantity is there. So the swaps are coming means so that definitely that buffer does not have enough free space here, 3 KB. So in this case, what we have to do? We need to fill it. We need to increase the parameter or we need to check what's there. Suppose see here program buffer. If you double click on it, you will go to the program buffer here. In the program buffer, used objects are this one, available are this one, objects free are this one. So just to go to the buffered objects, then we will go to the detailed information about the each and everything here. So what are the objects are stored in the buffers? What are the programs? It is a program buffer. So all the programs related information will be stored into this buffers. So these all are the programs here. These all are the programs here. These programs are stored into the buffer level. It is stored here, right? So suppose same example here we have the CUA, right? CI buffer here. CI buffer also there is a buffered objects here. Each buffer it will store the some data here, right? In the systems. So you can see the CA related some tables, objects. So all the information is available in the ST02 transaction code and CA buffer, right? This is the buffers here. So suppose you want to increase the buffer, so then you can go to the current parameters, check the current parameters. So what is the value it is configured? The buffer size is 3000 KB. Then you want to change it. Where you have to go to change the parameter value? What is the transaction code? You have to go to the RJ10 again. So you have to go to the RJ10, copy the parameter here. Then go to the RJ10 here. Then there you have to change go to the RJ10 directly from profile parameter. Here we can go or just you can type the RJ10 is the transaction code. Then you can go to the buffer here, click on the display. Then you can see what is the size of this parameter. So 3000 KB is mentioned. So means 3000 KB means it's like MB, right? It's MB. So then we have to change this one. How to change it here? Buffer size. Go to the RZ10 is the transaction code here. RZ10 is the transaction code here. Take the instance profile. So take the instance profile here. Right, take the instance profile, then extended maintenance. So change the button. This we already know how to change the parameters here. So right here we can go ahead and we can change the parameter, any parameter. Suppose you want to increase the work process here, so then you can increase the work process number to the 5. You want to decrease the BTC, then you can decrease the BTC, or you can keep the same. So like that we can change it, or we can change it everything here. Suppose if you see this parameter is not available here, then go to the create, click on OK button, then you will see the parameter value is created by the Nitin on 16/18th. He changed it here. Now I am going to change it to the 3500. Just half I am changing here. means increasing buffer value. I am increasing here. Go back, then copy, go back, then save, then activate. Save and activate. This is what we discussed, right, in the previous class. So profile parameters and everything. So how to change the profile parameter, any profile parameter, anything, we have to go to the object, and there we have to change the value of the, there we have to change the values of the profiles. Values of the profiles, we have to change it from here, right? That is the profile parameter value here. We can change it here. Then activate it. But here immediately it won't affect it here. Here you need to restart. Here you need to restart it here. Here you need to restart the system here. You need to restart the system to affect the changes. Why? Because these are the static parameters, which means restart is required here. Static parameters, then restarts are required here, right? So that is the reason these are the static parameters. Restarts are required here in the systems here, right? So this is the static and dynamic parameters here, right? So these are the static and dynamic parameters. So we changed. So like this, we have to change the buffer values and everything here by changing the profile parameters and everything. Currently, so everything has some so space. We don't have any issues here. So if you keep on accessing the system, then definitely, so if the buffer space is full, then here overflow happens. Then you will see the how many swaps are occurred in the system or not, we will see from here. So in this way, we can control the buffers and swaps. So and also you can see the history also per day, how many swaps are coming. If the swaps are coming, when you go to the ST02 transaction code here, then you will see history. Suppose I want to see the foreground buffer history. This is called the detailed analysis history. If we go to this detailed analysis here, you will see the history of this buffer. Means per day how many objects are coming to the inside of the system. So 16th how many objects, 17th how many objects, 18th, 19th, then when the objects are coming here. You see here 15th, this is the hit ratio quantity here. Then how many objects, quantity of the hit ratio. Then slowly it's decreased here. So it is the 26 here, it is the 99 here, right? It is increased. So like that, keep on accessing the system, your system performance will be increased here. So like that, we can see the, so all the buffer information and everything here available, all the information, history, all these things we can see in the ST02 transaction code here, right? ST06 ST02, here we can see the buffers, swaps, all these things, and also we can see the memory areas, SAP memory areas also we can see it here. Memory areas means, so SAP memory areas, like we have the three types of memory areas here: extended memory, role memory, and heap memory. So these are the three types of memory areas. So how the system will use all these memory areas and everything. There is a separate concept for the SAP memory management, separate concept for the SAP memory management. That time we'll discuss about the all these things here. So separate memory management day. So that time we'll discuss about this memory management, all these parameters and everything. Okay. So this is about the ST02 transaction code. Very important transaction code ST02 here. So buffers, swaps, so all kind of information we can find out from here, right? So this is the information. If this is green, then system is green. So if it is giving the trouble, then system also will give the some performance issues in the systems. That is what the main intention of the this ST02 transaction code here. If any performance issue, sometimes users will raise the questions like, so they are unable to open the transaction code. It is very slow. It is very slow and system is very slow, something like that. But other transaction works fine, but only the specific transaction codes are taking some time. So which means the first time, yes, that is normal actually. Whenever system restarts, as soon as system restarted, then all the buffers will be flushed out. again the buffer has to rebuild. So means buffers has to rebuild means we have to execute some transactions here in the system so that the buffers will be rebuilded. In this case, what will happen? Whenever the user execute the transaction, immediately he will get the screen. Otherwise, whenever he is accessing, he won't get the screen here. He won't get the, immediately he won't get the screen here. Immediately you won't get the screen here. So that is the reason. So here accessing the transaction code is very important here. The accessing the transaction code is very important in the systems here, right? Systems here. So logical. So one transaction code I accessed. So this is a very important transaction code, right? RSA1 transaction code. So this RSA1 transaction code is for the retrieve the data from the remote sources. The BW functional team, they will use it, this transaction codes here. So whenever you access this transaction code first time, it may take some time. When you are accessing the second time, it is fine. Why? Because so it will build the buffers. It will build the buffers. All the buffers will be built here. So that's the reason here we have to first time after the restart, system will be slow definitely to build the buffers and everything here, right? So that is the main thing of the buffers here, right? See here, still the program is compiling. So either we need to run the SGen after that, as soon as installation is completed, then we need to check why it is taking longer duration. So that is the main important point we need to remember here, right? So that is the major thing we need to remember. So that is the ST02 here, right? So let's start discussing about the ST03 and ST03. ST03 is the workload analysis. Workload analysis here. ST03 is the workload analysis here. See here how much time it is taking now. When I execute the ST03, how much time? It's like 11,766 milliseconds taking the response time. So again, I will go back and so I will execute the same transaction here. Same transaction I will execute here. This time we got quite a bit fast, like 4,000. Previously 11,000, now 4,000. We got the immediate response here. So here in the workload monitor, workload analysis here. So here we can do the analysis not only today, monthly wise analysis, workload analysis, weekly, daily, hourly, minutes, seconds wise analysis. We can do that one. Like suppose if we have the suppose Wednesday, right? Suppose I want to do the analysis of the 16th. Then you can just go to the 16th and you can do the analysis here. So in the 16th day, 16th August, what exactly happened in the systems? So here, what exactly we need to look at the dialogue response time here. The dialogue response time, average response time, we have to take it here. So average response time means, why? Because here dialogue or process is the responsible to take your user request and process your user request and respond to the your user request, right? So how much fast dialogue or process is responding here? That average response time on the 16th, the average response time, what is that here? If any transaction, if any system here more than 4 minutes, I think some organization it's 5 minutes, 3 minutes. So some organization it's 2 minutes. If any transaction is taking more than 2 minutes, then definitely there is a performance issue in your system, right? That we need to investigate it further. Why it is taking that much of time? So we need to investigate it here. So some organizations they will put like 3, some organizations 2, some organizations put 1. So 1 is normal. 2 above 2 means so it's a very dangerous, not the very dangerous state. So it's taking some time. So it's not responding very quickly. So here we can see it from the here majorly we have to look the dialogue response time, how much response time here, the average processing time here, CPU time, debut time, the wait time, runtime time. So all the timelines here we can see from here. So roll in time, rollout time, DB time, so wait time, so roll, all the timelines we can see here, right? CPU utilization, how much time is DB, and Now, the average DB procedure cost, DB response time, wait time, how much time the request is waiting in the queue, very less. Roll in time, going to roll in user context, roll wait time, generation time. So we have the times here. Here we need to look the majorly the average response time of the dialogue across here. So it should be good actually. Otherwise, we may face the performance issues here. So here daily you can perform it. Otherwise, monthly you can perform it here. Otherwise, if you go to the detailed analysis, you go to the last minute load. If you expand the last minute load, last 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 7 minutes. So last 24 hours, that type of information also we can take it here. So just click on the here 2152 197. So this 15 minutes, I think, right? This 10 minutes. This 10 minutes I am taking the, so 10 minutes or what is 15 minutes? I am taking the load here. Right? So load I am taking here. Right? So this is the no load currently. So currently it's not displayed anything role here. Maybe time zone issues, I think it's not displaying the any role here. Maybe let me take it here. I will create the 17 here. So that with the load is not displaying. Oh, okay. So why it is not displaying means here I suspended the some jobs here. So normally if the values are not displaying, this is also our goodness only. So sometimes when you working on the customer, sometimes you will not see the values here. Here you will not see the values here. Why? Because here, so there is a one job is responsible, one standard job is responsible to populate the data here. If you suspend that job, if you suspend that job in the SM37, the job will not run, then data will not be populated here. Data will not be populated here. So that is the main thing here you need to check here. The data will not be populated here. Okay. Here, just click on the execute button here. We will see the, so what is the job here? So the job name starts with the all SAP standard jobs name starts with the SAP. This is the job is responsible SAP collector performance monitor. So this is the job monitor for the to populate the data here. So I'm going to release this job so that once you release it, after some time you will see it will populate the values in the ST03. The current live values will be populated here. So that is what I am executing now. Right? That is what I have executed now. See here, the job is created here. The job is executing now in the system. The job is executing in the system. It is executing here. Right? So this is the way previously it was executed, but I suspended due to some issues. I have paused all the jobs. I have paused it here. I have paused all the jobs. I have paused in the systems. So now it will run. Now it will run. Then we will see that after some time, we'll see the data in ST03 transaction code here. We will see the data in ST03 transaction code here. See here, last measurement is 17. If you wait for after 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you will see the, so the response time you will get here, right? So in the response time here, if you open this one, so if you open this one, suppose we will calculate the 16th one. In the 16th one, here you can see here, so here 16th one, so you want to see until 16th day. So if you go to the transactional profile here, we go to the transaction profile here, you will see if we go to the transaction profile here, you will get the in the 16th day how many transactions are executed. So in that, which one is taking the longer duration here? Which one is taking the longer duration? You can filter it here. See here RS spam 30. So one report, one maybe support pack, I think. Support pack implementation took the longer time here. Support pack implementation taken the longer time here. The next one, client copy done by our users, right? Client exports. These two taken the major performance issues in the systems here. So you want to check what exactly executed this one, who executed this one, which user, which one. So here you can see here This is executed by the DDAC user. One is the background job which is caused the issue, right? Here we can get it out. If you go to the time profile here, you will see the at what time your system behavior is very bad. Just go to the here, maybe you can filter it out. 0 to 9, nothing. So here, which hour? So 6 to 7. System time 6 to 7. We have the response time is very bad that time. See here, 40,000 milliseconds here, 40,000 or 40 lakhs, 4 lakhs milliseconds, I guess, right? So here, 40,000 milliseconds here, which means every hour you can see the response time is normal. The response time is normal here. So less utilization is, this is the 5 to 6 and 7 to 8 less utilizations. But 6 to 7 is the very high utilization here. Is it coming every day? Just go to the 15th also. 15th also you can go. You see 15th also, no, nothing is there 15th. Then you see Monday, means 14th occurrences. Like 6 to 7 is the very high. 6 to 7 in the same in the Monday also, 6 to 7 is the very high. So what has been executed here? So what has been executed in the 6 to 7 here? So these are the reports. These are the transactions. So executed on the 6 to 7. 6 to 7, sorry, 4 to 5. 4 to 5, STMS executed by someone. Then client copies are executed by someone. And jobs, again, client copies. Again, so the address check, user address check related job, then all the transaction codes are executed. Suppose you want to see who executed the STMS. To double click it, you will get the name, who executed what and everything here. So this is the time profile and a transaction profile. These two are the very important to find out the issues. So STMS, suppose SE01, who executed SE01 here? Then select it. So SAP star and a DDAC user means someone logging with these users and they are trying to create the users here, right? So here we can find out all these things. We can find out from here. Someone SM37 who practiced the SM37 here. If you double click it, you will see the users, same basis user and SAP star users are practiced here, right? This is the practice they have practiced here. This is the way we can so check the workload, system load, workload analysis. We can point out it here. Workload, we can manage it here. System workload, we can manage in the things here. So here in this way, we can find out what's happening with the my system, what's happened yesterday with the same time, different time zone, what happened, all kind of information we can find out from the ST03 and transaction code here. ST03 and transaction code here. So these two are very important, ST02, ST03. Why? Because whenever any issue, you have to find out the cause, who executed, what causing the issue and everything. Then if you go to the ST03, you may get the some additional steps here to close for getting the some close. ST02 buffers and everything. 03 will get more here. So detailed analysis and workload analysis, we can get it out from the here. So here to be tracked here. To populate this data and values here, SAP collector performance job is responsible here. SAP, the collector job is responsible here. SAP collector job. So that job will execute the everything here. The job will execute the all those things will executed here. So that is the main important thing here. We have to carefully check here, right? This is the collector performance job here. That is the ST03N or ST03 concept here. So this is completed today, right? So this will execute every 1 hour. The next 1 hour it will execute it hourly. This will execute it. The data will be populated here. The data will be populated here. As soon as that is completed, so then you will see the live data in ST03. Live data you can see here in the ST03. You can find out here. So this is it to update here. Once that is updated, you will see the data in the present data also you will get. So only 16th we have. I stopped, I think last week somewhere I stopped the background jobs all taking longer time and everything. So that the the data analysis stopped at 16th only. Right? This is the way we have to do the analysis in the systems here. Okay? Got it? Any questions from anyone?
Hello, where to check present day transactions?
Present day transaction, same here only, right? Yeah, I told you, right? Here, you go to the ST03 and go to the detailed analysis, right? Detailed analysis, last minute load, just select this button, total. Here you can see the date here, right? Present date.
Okay.
Remove the dates or make it 00, 00, 00. Up to now, you want to see here. Just execute it. You will get the data here. You will get the data. So from today, so from here to here, because system time. Our system time is the 21. So US time. So you will get the data from the system here. Today means yesterday means today. Our time is the ours is yesterday. Our system time is the today. So 002 till date till 7 p.m. So what executed in the systems, all the response time, it is pulling the data now. See here, it's pulling the data, then it will give the response. So like that, you can change the dates to the previous dates. You can change it. You can check it out. But the job is very important, guys. The SAP job, SAP collector performance job is the very, very important. So then that is completed. Then we have the ST04, 5, 6, 7, and some other transaction codes also that we will discuss. But today you can practice these transaction codes because see here, today you got it. Previously we did not receive, but today we got it. But very response time is very high here today. See what causing the today's performance issue. Here see dialog response time. So here if you click it, 4000 milliseconds. So what has been executed? SGen. See here someone already started the SGen. Simply they are starting the SGen. It is killing the system performance and everything. So and the STC08 someone started already. So who started the SGen here? With the DDSC user, someone started the SGen today only. Right? That is the SGen taken the longer time. Then this is the report. What is this report here? Who executed this transaction here? So SAP system internal job. STC08. So like that, you can see transactions and everything here. Here, same everything, ST03 transaction code. Okay. Any questions from anyone?